We have been, for previous Siege Battle tournaments, going through at the beginning of the tournament and seeing what everyone's different defenses are, which defenses are meta. So if you guys are like C2, C3, or even G1 or G2 or whatever, and you're thinking about like what kind of siege defenses you want to build, which ones are successful nowadays, you can go through and you can see which ones the higher level players are doing, which ones the higher level guilds are doing, and try to build teams that resemble those, right? So we have been doing that. I didn't do one at the beginning of this Siege Battle tournament because I was like, does anyone really care? Are they curious what's going on right now? Or this is just like Khmun Vigor Skogul, whatever. Again, although that did change. Khmun Vigor Skogul is also Khmun Vigor Skogul. We were seeing some wind mermaids and things. Wind mermaids. We were seeing some savannas. Actually pretty popular savannas, Khmun Vigor savannas and things like that. So I didn't know if people still wanted to see these type of videos or if they were just like, nah, it's just gonna be the same stuff again most of the time. So I did get a decent amount of people that were curious why I didn't do it. So I guess we'll do it. We'll take a look. We'll take a look at the current battle. Right now, we have Malicious versus SSA going on right now. We'll take a look at that. We can also take a look at previous... we won't take a look at everything. We'll just take a look at the other ones, like the Malicious versus Apocalypse and SSA versus Exile. The matches before this, we could take a look at their defenses for like Apocalypse and Exile. I'll see if we could also take a look at some of the other servers, or if it's not available to look at right now. But yeah, surprise, surprise, Malicious versus SSA. They were number 1 and number 2 before the tournament. It's always like this, though. It's always number 1 and number 2 before the tournament, or number 1 and number 2 in the tournament is the two finalists, right? On this server, on Europe, on Asia, on China, on Korea, on Japan, whatever. For the most part, I mean, sometimes there's one that's like number 4 that'll sneak into the top 2, and it's like, oh. But usually it's number 1 and number 2 before the tournament, number 1 and number 2 in the tournament, with very little deviation. But anyway, let's take a look at Malicious versus SSA, and then we'll take a look at the previous ones of like Apocalypse and Exile Mercs, and we'll take a look at what their defenses are. You know what I think would be hilarious is if, because we can see these 10 wins, 10 wins, 10 wins over here, 10 wins, 10 wins, 9 wins over here. It would be hilarious if you saw like 11 wins, 12 wins, 13 wins, because that means that people would be like one-manning it and two-manning these top-tier defenses. Like, you're not going to see that. No one's going to YOLO when their guildmates are, you know, when their guild wins are at stake. They're not going to be like, yeah, let me YOLO the one of the best guilds in the game. Try to one-man try to solo their defenses. But it would be funny if someone did, right? It would be funny. Anyway, let's take a... not going to happen. Let's take a look at some of these defenses. So this is Martina, Shayna, and Tyrannus. Usually you see, and this is a 5-star tower, so usually you see Martina, Shayna, and Triana or Huadam, something that prevents death to keep them alive, kind of tanky. Now you're seeing Tyrannus in here, so it's looking like a full Shayna, Martina, Tyrannus base. So this is kind of like a deviation of what we've seen before, of, like I said again, those defenses. With the Trianas and the Huadams. However, with the Tyrannus, the things that you would normally bring in against that, kind of this throws a wrench in the mix, because like, okay, if I was going to bring in something that's, you know, like maybe a Water Frankenstein is a popular unit to bring in against that, he's going to be a little bit more dangerous against the Water Frankenstein. He's going to be able to do a little bit more damage, provide more of a threat than the Triana would, right? Because Triana is really not going to do that much damage to Water Frankenstein. Whereas, especially without a defense break, where Tyrannus might actually be able to kill Water Frankenstein. So, interesting there. What's this second defense? The second one, so that was a malicious defense. The second one is a SSA defense with Kaki, right? So we got Iris Kaki. I have not seen, so I didn't even see the one before. I haven't seen this defense before. So maybe it's a good thing that we're actually taking doing this video, taking a look at these defenses. This is actually different than I was expecting. So we're already seeing different defenses here. So we got a full Iris, Kaki, and Triana defense. Interesting. And then we have and another Shayna, Martina, and Tyrannus defense. Interesting. So I'm curious, like for example, let's take a look at this. Oh, they got no record here. No record here. What about this one? One loss. No record at all. So we can't really see too much on this win rate. Let's take a look at this. 1 win, 3. So here's the thing. That's actually pretty good. 5 and 5. That's actually pretty good. 0 wins, 5 losses. The thing is, at this high level, any wins at all is good. Because you're talking about the best players in the game fighting against a static defense. So if it gets any wins, that's really good. It's going to be a different story if you're in like C3 or G1 and you got this defense. It's going to be a very much higher success rate than it is over here. So again, when you're fighting against the best players in the game, and there's a static defense, and they're like, oh, I can just take this and this and this into it. It's very hard to get any wins at all on these defenses. So keep that in mind. And like, oh, that defense lost 5 times. It still could, it still could exhaust some of their better units to actually beat that 5 times, right? Units that if you stack that same tower again, then it's going to be a frustration. It's going to be a struggle for the other team to beat that tower again. That's also one of the things. One of the things in these higher level defenses is you want to stack the same teams over and over and over and over and over again. So this is also another different one. So this is Tessarion and a Savannah. Why was I going to call her Sabrina? I'm like, call her Sabrina. No, that's not her name. So Tessarion and gonna do it again. I was gonna do it. Listen, you guys don't need to know that Bagel is stupid. You already know that, right? So this is interesting with the Dark Chun-Li. So let's see, 4 losses. Again, any wins in any of these defenses are against these high-level players are going to be OP, right? It's going to be fantastic. So don't think that like they're losing, so that means the defense is bad. Any wins are means the defense is fantastic. If you go win against G3 players. So like for example, there was which one was this one? That's crazy that this is 5 wins, 5 losses. That's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane, and we see Silent as a fantastic player. He's been at SWC and stuff like that too. So, just the fact that that defense has 5 wins means that defense at like, if it had 40, if it had to defend a tower 40 times in like C3, it would be like 38-2. Like that's the level of how OP that defense would be at that level. So let's take a look at 1 win, 2 losses. So this is going to be a I was expecting a full Tian Lang defense. I really was. So we got HP, resistance. So this is a little bit different. That's kind of interesting. I wonder how fast that. Yeah, it's chaotic FD. I wonder how fast that that Praha is, right? Because you gotta imagine that Praha's got to be insanely fast. Insanely fast. Because that could still get outsped, but with the resistance lead, it's kind of annoying. And this is kind of similar, just the same thing, but with Lima instead of Praha. So, Kaki defense. You know Kaki's good when he gets put in with an LD5 in a defense. It's like, seriously, like, yeah, they can, and this is Heaves, which is G3 and RTA as well. So, if he can hold his own against LD5s, that's kind of saying something. Maybe he did need to get nerfed, I'm just saying. Pretty OP. So this is kind of more standard. We've seen this before. Right, we saw the Tyrannus in the other ones, and we saw the Tyrannus here. So this is a little bit different. We were seeing Tyrannus in with these. Now we're seeing the Ophelia booty in with these, right? So take a look at some of these. There's no records on that. There's 1 loss here. There's just a little bit, little tweaks to things. It was Tessarion. Now it is Ophelia booty. I have such terrible memory, guys. Like, I will know what a unit's name is, and then I will still say it wrong. Or, like, think to say it wrong. You already know this. It's not anything too crazy. Okay. So this one, Tessarion, Molly, and Sabrina, Shayna, getting... Wait a second. How do I say it wrong twice? Savannah. I need a lobotomy, guys. I need a lobotomy. So this is actually a fantastic defense. If it's winning this much, that's actually pretty solid. Again, any wins against this, super OP. Right? Any wins in these towers. Which one was that? Was that? Okay. So that's 12. Let's take a look at 9. And again, this is a fairly... Oh, this was... Wait a second. This is a 5-star base. It's a 5-star base. And they're using 4-star defenses. So that's kind of odd. I was not expecting to see that, right? Her type. Interesting. That kind of seems a little wacky. So this, wait, how fast is this? These are some wacky defenses, guys. I'm like not expecting some of these defenses. 3 losses. Yeah, I'm not. I guess they weren't expecting them either, because some of these are getting some wins, but I don't know that I would be too threatened by this defense. It seems weird. I mean, the thing is, this must be very, very fast. Like, I can imagine that the Gemini is super fast. The Triana is probably a speed, crit damage, HP Triana or something like that, right? I would assume that she's on speed and crit damage, just based on how this defense is formed. They're going to be a very, very fast defense. And the Kaki, I'm sure he's got 115 speed. I'm sure he's on, like, very, very fast runes. 115 speed, and he doesn't need crit rate or crit damage. It would be very easy to get him very fast. So I'm kind of thinking that this is, like, everything here is, like, including the Triana's got to be above 250. Kaki's got to be above 250 plus. I don't know how far above 250, but yeah. This has got to be a super, super fast defense. Did we? Yeah, we already took a look at this defense. Okay, let's take a look at, this is just another Triana. This is, okay, not anything too crazy. Twins and Triana. So again, we see some of these. Let's take a look at some of the win rates on some of these. Again, any win rates. I'm going to sound like a broken record like I usually do. Here's the thing. The amount of times that I repeat myself. This is, again, this is a different base. And it's winning. Right? I mean, not winning. Sorry, my bad. This is winning. Okay. Winning shows 4 losses. It's winning, guys. It's, again, any wins. Any wins at this level is fantastic. So let's take a look at 9. So again, this is and this was doing well, as we saw in the other base. So we see a little bit. That's not a Molly. That's a 21 wins, 31 losses, right? So 4 wins, 4 losses. That looks like a, well, this one's, yeah, that's not doing as good as this Iris, right? So the Iris, we see 21 wins, 31 losses against some of the best players in the game. Solid. And she's got to be on super, super fast despair. So strips, defense breaks, attack. You know what? Defense breaks, attack gauge reductions. And then Tessaran actually does damage based on speed. So, increases according to speed. So, yeah, that's looking like very... So it speed buffs him, and then, you know, defense breaks random units, and then he gets a chance to do massive damage. And it's got some sustain here. Strips. Strips here, strips here. You guys can see my cursor, right? Yeah, strips here, strips here. Sustain, speed buff, defense break, and then nuke, right? So, interesting. I already forgot which tower that was. No, that's not this tower. That's this tower? This tower? There you go. There you go. Be better at your job, please. Okay, let's think. So this is another one, another with the Kaki, but instead of Geminis, we see some Iris. All right, so let's see the win rates. Do you guys, do you want to see the win rates for all this stuff, or do you just not care too much about it? But you want to see, like, the way that they're built, but, or the way they're, you know, who's in which bases, but don't really care as much about the win rates. Okay, so this one, interesting. There is some strips here. It's not like there's devoid of strip, because she's got the AoE provoke, but it's not like it's completely devoid of strips. So let's see, 3 wins, 11 losses. I wonder what my Celia base is. A lot of this stuff is just so fast and runes so efficiently. It's not even just about, I'm sure a lot of people already know this, right? It's not even just about the units that you put in here, but making sure they have very efficient runes. So we're seeing some Shungpungs. That's a speed lead, by the way, 33 speed lead. And then we got him. He's always runed super fast. And then she's going to be runed super fast. It's so easy to get her fast, too. I have her almost 300 speed on my, not 300 speed, almost 300 speed on my China server account. She doesn't even have the best speed runes on the account. Or in general. It's just so easy to get. With that 123 base speed, it's so easy to get her fast. So, what is this? 7 base? And then we see Sylvia, Fengyan, and Ophelia. So Ophelia might be on Swift or Very Fast Violent. So the thing is with Sylvia teaming up with Feng Yan, so she has a strip on skill too, right? And then she has this team up randomly teams up here randomly team up here. Team up with this gets a defense break. Team up with this that gets a nuke, right? So it's pretty solid overall. But I'm curious how. I honestly haven't seen too many of these defenses specifically like that. He's going to be ruined very fast. He's got the AoE strip and block beneficial effects. Then this is going to be ruined very, very fast as well. So with the speed lead, this is going to be all very, very, very fast. I honestly haven't really seen too many of these Ophelia, sorry, not Ophelia, the Sylvia defenses like this though. Which one were we on? So Orion Kaki Triana. Okay. Flavor of the week. Will Kaki be flavor of the week next week though? That's the question. That's what everyone wants to know. I guess we'll take a look at the win rates for this one, and then we won't really focus too much on the win rates for... This is a different defense. So I know we just saw this, but it's a different defense. So we're seeing if you got a... Nasty. CR Twins. I honestly actually thought we would see a little bit more of the CR Twins kind of stuff. Alright. We'll take a look less at the defense records of the... Unless we see something super crazy, right? These defenses seem to be doing actually pretty well. Every time we see some, they seem to be winning quite a decent amount. So maybe that's one of the solid, like between this and between the mollies. Between this and the mollies. And I'm curious if these Orions are on Violent or not. It's doing good. Doing good, though. That defense doing good. And then we see this is another one of these. And then we'll take a look at the... Who's the next one? The matches before this. Because they're not currently obviously they're not currently going on. But we can still see throughout the course of the match, we can still see some of the different defense there. So anyway, there we go for this one, for the Malicious versus SSA battle. Let's take a look at some, again, like I said, let's take a look at some of the other ones before this. Now we're going to replay of the last one, the last Malicious match that they had before they got to the top two. Malicious versus Apocalypse, which is, again, another super crazy strong guild. And we used to not be able to see, like, we can just click the play button and see their bases and see how the whole match went. We used to not be able to see base information on these, but now Compto has changed it where we actually can see base information, so we can take a look at what everyone has in these different what everyone has in these different bases. We actually can't see the win rates. Perfect, because we weren't going to see them anyway, so now we can't even be tempted to see them. So Tessarion, see, now I'm curious what the defense win rate was with this. Tessarion, Molly, Theomars. Now I gotta know, man. Oh my god. Okay. Tease me. Okay, so we see just another one of the another one of those. We see Kumar. Interesting. Kumar has a strip with skill 1, by the way. So strip with skill 1, he's got a silence, he's got a heal, he's got a cleanse too. Now with the heal, he's got a little heal on here. We have the Savannah has a... Oh, I said her name right this time. Wow. She's one of my favorite units. How do I not ever... Whatever. It's a weird day, man. We see some more of these. I'm very curious what the win rate on here is now. Very curious. Okay. And then we have another, this is not even the same one, another Tessarion Theomars Molly. Guys, is Theomars any good anymore? I don't even know. Well, apparently he's hot again. So let's take a look here. Yeah, fairly standard. Nothing too crazy. So this is an Apocalypse base. You guys can't tell from the logos. So we saw this a little bit before. Fairly similar. Again, there's still 2 strips, right? 2 strips. There's nuke. There's cleanse. So I would imagine this one is doing. It seemed to be doing decently enough. Although this was a little bit different from the roles we saw in the other. This looks like a free-to-play defense with the no transmogs and the no wings and stuff like that. So it's just interesting. Wait, are all of these? Oh, never mind. All of these are so Comtois is showing us previous matches, but these are all no skins and wings. In the code, it's not showing all the skins and wings. They're just showing that these 3 units, they just have the unit information in the replays. They don't actually have the skins, the wings, the win rates, everything like that. They're just showing, like, based on... If you guys are programmers, you already in your head, you know exactly what I'm talking about and why. But to save on resources, they have to keep. On data they have to keep. They're not showing any of the skin information. They're just showing the units. So there's no skin or wing or win rate things on any of these. So we can just see some of that. Okay, so let's see how things go throughout the course of the battle, and then let's see the defense at the defenses at the end. See if anything changed too much. If they switch things up. All right, so kind of near the end. Let's see if anything changed. Or I mean, I'm sure things changed, but let's see some of these defenses here. So yes, they did change. Because one of the things is another thing that I want to mention is throughout the battle, there's going to be a lot of communication going on. That's why also if you see some streamers, they have if they are in the siege tournament's going on at that time, they have guild chat blocked out at the top of the screen, the top left-hand corner of the screen. They have these like ugly black bars, and you're like, what is that? Why are there the black bars at the top of the screen? They're blocking out the guild chat because they don't want someone going into the stream that's in a competing guild that they're fighting right now to see what they're saying in guild chat and report it back to the guild. Because it is basically, it's like war, guys. Like, they take this very seriously. So, they will, like, for example, take a defense at the beginning of the match and then say, okay, these guys have will runes, these guys don't have will runes. This is the approximate speed of the enemy team for this person's, like, for example, for Faint Memories, defense of XYZ. And then, you know, the rest of the guild knows. And sometimes they even write it down, right? Sometimes they even write it down in Discords and things like that. This way they have a log of it. So the guilds actually, for these high-level defenses, they actually change throughout the course of the match. This way, the enemy guild does not have the information. The information that they took at the beginning of the guild battle when they fought that base is not relevant anymore because they have a totally different team now. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. That's also why some of the win-loss rates are not available because they changed the defense in the middle of the battle and then they put a different defense in, right? So defense didn't have any information. So they try to give each other's guilds as little information as possible so that they have a better chance of surprising them with things. So there we go. So this I actually saw something of when did I actually see this? I don't remember, but I saw this defense before of the Hyenes. She got the speed lead, right? So she got the speed lead, and then this is going to be on Swift, and then this is going to be... Or you could mess someone up by being like, yeah, that's on Swift, sure, and this is on just very fast, violent. People think it's on Swift, right? So then she would do a skill 3, and then she would follow it up with a skill 2 defense break, and then Vigor would come in and nuke something. You never know, right? You never know. So... yeah, Bloody Claw apparently has 2 of the same defense, right? It's not the old, like, the 2 Vigors is not that shocking in high-level guilds. 2 Hyenes is kind of more surprising. And take a look at this, though. Here's another thing. Like, you never know who you're actually fighting in some of these guild wars because, like, for example, Zombies here is Challenger 1, right? There's not anything exciting. But he's not really a Challenger 1 player. He's just, that's his current rank in Arena because a lot of people that that care about RTA and Guild Siege don't really care too much about Arena. There's a lot like Thompson, Make It a Bud. They're on my friends list. They're like super low in Arena. There's beginners, like beginner players that are like trying to hit their defense. They're like, I can't beat these defenses in Fighter 1. You see like Thompson, Make It a Bud in Fighter 1. They're like, I can't beat these defenses in Fighter 1. That's just because they didn't do any Arena. Like these people are just not doing Arena and their defense is sitting in Fighter 1 because they're not accumulating any points throughout the week, right? So you see some crazy players in Fighter 1. Whatever rank you are does not necessarily dictate your strength as a player. So that's, I think, a big misconception that people have. So you could see people in the top, especially in midweek, right? Especially in midweek, you could see people in the top 100 that are generally finishing like C2, they're just taking their time and bruisering out to get to top 100 because they think it's fun, right? Doing little bruiser arena offenses. So, and they finish on like C2. So yeah, don't think too much about like arena rank as like that makes everyone like good or bad or whatever. So yeah, take it with a grain of salt. Anyway, let's see some other stuff. Let me stop. This is the one that I was. No, never mind. That's not the one. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. And we can't see any win rates for any of these. We see another. We should do this faster. Why don't I keep talking, guys. I'm sorry. So we're seeing some ethnos. That's fine. Underrated units. So we're seeing some more. So this is again. This is probably just this is a malicious base. That no, this is not all mollies. This is also beta. Okay, mostly mollies though. Interesting though. That, and this is a different defense, but that I would like to see again, or not again, but more of. It seems to be doing pretty decently. So that's almost, I mean, that's almost a free-to-play defense as long as you have molly, right? Very interesting. Seen some fairly standard stuff that we saw before. This one, I kind of thought we would see a little bit more of the water Ryu. Okay. So we're seeing the water Ryu here. This is a little bit different. Some of these I would like to see. Like, do we see this one? Oh, that is the one that we already saw. Okay. So I was on the right path. There we go. It was seen. This is kind of what we were. This is the kind of stuff that I was expecting to see more of. That's why I was like, do we really even need to see this? Because I'm expecting to see more of, Khmun Vigor X, like Shangpungs and stuff, and Savannahs, and then defenses like this. But we really haven't seen. I mean, Khmun Vigor Skogul, there's enough people in G3 that can easily beat those defenses now, because they were so all over the place that they had to change them to different stuff, right? So that's why we really aren't seeing Khmun Vigor Skoguls. So. Sarion Gianna, and we see. This is. I clicked on the same one twice. Okay, so we're done with this one. Let's take a look at the SSA match. I think it's SSA versus Exile. SSA versus Exile. So I was correct. So let's see what we have. Interesting. Okay. Dark Beast Rider. It's funny to see Shazam in defense. I was hoping we were going to see some more of this stuff. I was really hoping. Screw you. Screw all these people that have... No, not them. They're fine. Screw all these people that have this this water girl, because I want her. And we see another Shayna Martina Triana. Still holding up pretty strong. Still pretty solid defense. Khmun Savannah Bastard. What is the Bastard? Listen, I don't know. I don't know anymore, okay? Khmun Savannah Gianna. Whatever their names are, these monsters. Hey, that's kind of nice. Wish I could see the win rate on that, man. This unit, I really want him. I really want him. Jeez, some OP stuff. These are some of my favorite, most wanted units in the game. Okay, so this is it's the same defense. It's the same tower. My bad. So we're seeing some more Hertite and Vigors. We're seeing a Dark Archangel. Okay. We've seen a Dark Paladin. Nice. Jealous. We saw some kind of crazy Dark Paladin gameplay. Was it? I think it was my gameplay. So this is interesting. This is a fairly free-to-play style defense. The thing, I think we have this on the Europe server, which we actually built for the Guild Siege, Siege Glory series, whatever. Because she's got a speed lead. So because she's got a speed lead, some people are not really too excited about Zenobia, but you do actually see her with some kind of swift unit in some of these high siege teams, right? So Zenobia, Shayna, and some unit on Swift, whether it's Clara or whether it's... I bet you could use her with other stuff too. Clara, Orion, things like that. But I bet you could see... or even with the Dark Boomerang too. So you could also see this with the Dark Boomerang. Excuse me. And then we also have Iris. Okay. This is a nice free-to-play friendly defense. I wish we could see the win rates on this, because if you rune this well enough, you have to rune them all fast, and Clara needs to be super, super, super fast, because Clara will use her skill 3, right? So if you are like mid-game and you want a good siege defense that is not super whale, if you rune this defense good enough, this will get wins. So I don't even remember what. Oh yeah, we were on this tower. Okay. So we're seeing this we saw this before. Laura defense. Okay. Laura's got a strip. Each attack remove one beneficial effect. Increases defense for 3 turns additionally, and then she's got that CC stun, right? So you got a speed lead, you got a strip, and then she's gonna do defense breaks and attack gauge reductions and stuff. So. And then where were we? I think we're on this one next. So we see some more Kakis. Very nice. Kaki Savannah. It's always crazy to see like 4 stars in some of these Nat 5 bases. That's when you know that they're really solid units. So again, this is exactly what I just said. Did I not? I literally just said this. I feel like I'm going crazy. I literally just said this, that the Wind Boomerang with the Martina too. The same thing, but with like Orion, with Martina. So I literally just said this. Thank you. Who's this? Who? Oh, Exile. Okay. So thank you, Exile, for proving me right. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's see how things go by the end of the match. Told you guys I wasn't talking about my butt. Unless I call Savannah Sabrina, then I'm talking out of my butt. Okay. So let's see what everything looks like over here. So we see some of these. Anything you put Shayna Martina in anything, make them super fast. OP. This is such a wacky team. What what is this? Okay, so he's got a dark HP leader skill. What a wacky team though. Wow. Yeah. Wacky team. This is some new stuff. Okay. And we see some of these. Okay, there we go. And if you are an early game player, like early to mid game, you really don't pay too much attention to siege stuff. Keep in mind that when they're putting things like this in, right? This is a fast defense, fast and aggressive. You want to make everything very fast and very aggressive, right? Fast, good accuracy, good crit damage. Maybe not as much crit damage on Ciara, but you know. This is a tanky defense. Totally different style. When you're doing this, it's less about the speed and more about making everything very, very, very tanky. Reduce crit damage and artifacts. Decrease damage from wind and fire. Like for example, for this, probably decrease damage from fire units is what I would say I would put on it. But crit damage received minus whatever. Shield runes are going to be strong on this. So you just want to make it super fat, super tanky, right? Super fat, super tanky. This way they can withstand quite a lot of damage. That's kind of the point here. That's kind of the point for here too. Very fat, very tanky, still decently fast, but less about the speed and aggression and more about making it fat and tanky and good resistance too. So yeah. It's got this one, same thing, very tanky, reduce crit damage from whatever. And then also I would say maybe reduce crit damage from water on this because I would take like water units into this. And yeah, and then just super tanky. So, and then this is kind of both. It's kind of like fast and it's also tanky at the same time. That's one of the reasons that Khmun Vigor and Skogul was doing good. Khmun Vigor and then other fast tanky units were doing good because it's like a mixture between fast and tanky. So what tower was that? I totally forgot which tower that was. I think it was 12. Was it? Yeah, it was 12. Okay. So let's take a look at 9. Again, one of these defenses, but make sure that your defenses like all make sense together. Like, are you going to be able to withstand, getting hit by these more meta arena, not arena teams, siege teams, or are you going to be fast and aggressive and try to control them? Not even control, but more like fast, aggressive, control, kill. Doing a little bit of both control and kill. Because you can prevent getting controlled and you can prevent getting killed, but if it's like control cleave kind of stuff, then it's harder to prevent yourself from getting both, right? Interesting. Okay. That I have not seen that one. So, and also keep in mind that no one's putting 3 fire units. Again, early game players, please understand this. No one's putting 3 fire units on defenses, 3 water units on defenses, 3 wind units on defenses. That gets the only exception to that is like 3 light units on defense when they're like Artem Yell, Shazam, Molly. That's going to be a good defense because, or already meltdown lying Molly. That's going to be a good defense because it's so tanky, and there's not like a certain element you could bring in to already have advantage. If you have 3 fire units on your defense, you could just put 3 water units on your offense, and you already have an advantage. You already have an advantage there. So, yeah, you don't see anyone doing 3 units of any one element aside from light or dark. So keep that in mind, because new players, early game players, always do that. They always do 3 of the same element unit. So if you have the 3 of the same element unit right now in your defenses, look at this one! So I have not seen this one before, actually. Interesting. I mean, we've seen these, but I have not seen, and basically the same thing, but instead of the Shayna, we see Deva. Again, I have not seen the Deva before on these defenses. I would love to see how they actually do, but there you go. And this is SSA, which is one of the best guilds in the game. Did we see? This is the one that we just saw. Okay. Did we just see all these? We saw all these, right? Oh, we didn't see this one. Okay, so this is kind of similar. This is the defense that they had somewhere else in the beginning. We're just seeing it repurposed here on the base 3. But anyway, that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys got something out of it, like getting a little bit of ideas on how to build your defenses. Maybe get a little yelled at by Bagel on not to put 3 of the same units on defenses. That's the easiest thing that you should take away from this is if they're going to be tanky, make them all very, very, very tanky. Very, very tanky, high resistance. If they're going to be fast, make them all fast and all aggressive, right? Make sure that your defense makes sense and is not just easily demolished by things. And then Rainbow. Make sure it's kind of like how you want. I'm going to give you some food and diet tips. Kind of like when you're trying to make a healthy meal for yourself. The more it looks like a rainbow, like you want a rainbow on your plate. The more it looks like a rainbow, the healthier generally it is for you. I swear to God, if you guys are like, I'm going to just eat Skittles for dinner then. Like, that's not what I mean. I don't mean just a giant plate of Skittles. Well, I made rainbow cookies. Like, no, that's not. Food coloring doesn't count, okay? Food coloring doesn't count. You want a variety in colors on your plate, just like you want a variety in colors on your Guild Siege defense and Guild Wars defense. So anyway, that's it for this one. Hope you guys got something out of it. I will see you as always in the next one.